Welcome to this look at a new mod map to Farming Simulator 25 with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Forest Challenge by ABT-FRANKYY, 166.61 megabytes download. Now I'm doing this map tour differently to all the ones I normally do, because this is genuinely my first look of the FS25 version. Because if you recall in FS22, I did my Floor is Lava challenge on this map, which some people thought was insane. So did I, but I thoroughly enjoyed it because it was something a little bit different. So I haven't actually done anything on here yet. I've made no notes, I've done no prep. I just thought, you know what, let's have a look as I normally would when I'm doing a map tour. And what is crazy to me is, because of what I did on the FS22 version of this, I'm looking here now thinking, this feels really claustrophobic. It feels very, very strange. So, sleep and wardrobe trigger just over here. There you go, there's our sleep trigger. Wardrobe trigger just there. Sell point just there. There's only the one sell point, there's only one sleep trigger. We've got our workshop just there. And we've got our repair point just here for vehicles and machinery. Over here, animal dealer point. So if you want to put animals on the map at some point, you absolutely can. And this is it. Now I'm going to read something to you. It says, I present to you the Run Forest Run map that I have created for those who want to cut wood or are looking for a challenge. Important, the challenge is to cut your way out of the forest to create an area. You can then cut your way into the land. So the premise being, whether you're stranded or not, do you accept the challenge? Can you break free? Can you get out? You can cut your way out. Now, obviously, you could just drive your way out. You could drive, you know, the spaces are big enough. It's not that dense, so you can't. But the premise being, you need to cut yourself a way out in whichever direction you want. But there is a direction you could kind of aim for. But that comes with a difficulty. And then you kind of work your way back in. So, it says, you can start with zero money because you get the tools and the land with one hand over. The rest is up to you. There's a lot of wood you can only carry with a small tractor and loader at first. I urge everyone to start their rescue in easy game mode. I'm on normal. I always do my map tours in normal. You need to buy a chainsaw first, then you can buy the bigger logging machines. So, what do we start with? Over here, we've got our log trailer. We've got our tractor with front loader and a log grab. That's it. If I go up on there, we do need to buy. Now I've got a million up there because I'm doing I'm on New Farmer, I'm doing my map tour, but you can start on zero. On the start menu you can pick and choose before you come in all your parameters for your Let's Play, which is great. It's something that you couldn't always do before. In FS25 obviously you can. I don't talk about that a lot when I do my map tours. Generally speaking, I will just say, look, this is the situation, this is what it is standard for New Farmer, Farm Manager, start from scratch. But all of those menus can be fiddled around with if you want to, which is fine. If we go into here and look under our build mode, this is just to double check. There are no required mods to download, but what I normally do is then come into here, I'll have a look down and see if anything's been added in by the map maker over and above any required mods, which it looks like there aren't going to be, because at the end of the day it is basically a forest map. Now again, if this is not your thing, oh there you go, sleeping tent has been added in over and above. I don't think we've got any factories or anything, or have we? They're not showing mods. That's curious. Sell points? I don't think so. Greenhouses? No. Cultivation? Generation? No. And then I think animal pens is all going to be fairly standard as far as I can tell. Yeah. Let's go down here, just double check again any decorative items, fences, that kind of stuff. That's what I normally do. And I say normally because I've done all my prep beforehand. I wouldn't be doing it this way round on a map that was more complicated with a lot going on, because obviously I like to be prepared when I'm, so I can talk with authority about it. But this one's a fairly straightforward one, like I say, in so much as it is forestry. So there shouldn't be anything that jumps out and surprises me. That's not to say it won't, but hopefully not. So, not a huge amount of paint textures. Trees seem to be all standard, as do plants. Nothing under build mode. If we go into here, our slot count, look at the slot count, 473, that's all. Now obviously if you removed those vehicles and machines and decided to start with something else, or you decided, you know what, I'm just going to start with a chainsaw. If you want to go ultimate, then you could just start with a chainsaw. Now what I haven't done yet, and I meant to do before I started, was check on Farm Manager and start from scratch and see if you actually started with the equipment and machinery. Because, you know, as set standard. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to jump out in just a minute and show you. But 473 is amazing. So obviously you can remove that equipment and machinery. I'm curious to see. Let's come down to here. Let's remove our start equipment. Let's get rid of the log fork, the tractor, that, and that. What's our slot count now? 456. Okay, didn't come down a huge amount, but anyway. 456. That's for the map and all the trees and stuff on it. Let's have a look at the map while we're here. So we want... there we go. So here's the map. Now, this is what I'm saying. It depends which direction you're heading. We have one field. Now, when I did my forest challenge, and I got to a point I'd cut down a colossal amount of trees. And I can't remember why. Did we get to the end? I can't remember. Anyway, for whatever reason. And I was heading this direction to get to this field. That was kind of my target. But the problem I had was the plot prices. That's over $1 million. That's over $1 million. 632. That's not too bad. 942. Plot 63. Why is that not? Oh yeah, Farmland 63. 20. What? But that hasn't highlighted anything. That's highlighted that. That. Oh, is that around the outside? Why would you buy around the outside of the map? That plot's not highlighting, and I'm not quite sure why. Let's do 4. Okay, that does 4. 63. That makes no sense. Why would you spend 23 million for the outside of a map you can't use? Don't know. Anyway, maybe you are supposed to get to the edge. I don't know. So the problem being that to get through, and this was what I got to, was this bit here. To get from here to here, I had to buy that plot and that plot. Sorry, not that plot, and that plot. To come round onto here, or if I went round that way to there, which you were looking at nearly 2 million, which I suppose with enough trees cut down and productions running, if you want to run productions you can, that's up to you. This plot here, value 0, this plot here, 484,700. So I would imagine on Farm Manager to start from scratch you won't have this one, and obviously you won't have this land either, but that's 0 to get the first plot of land and to get yourself going. And that's it. All the stuff is here, right where we are. It's right in the middle. Obviously we've got rid of equipment and machinery. So if you are trying to get to the edge, you can, on New Farmer, go straight out to here. If you wanted to. Which is up there, past the rocky bit, up to the top, and you can say, okay, I've reached the edge, let's start clearing and let's make it a map. So if you want to do farming and stuff, you can. Now if you're thinking to yourself, that's ridiculous, it's going to take forever, there are a lot of mods available now that will remove trees quickly, if you want to do that. But obviously, if you're going to be doing that, there are lots of maps where you can just jump on and play. You can just do farming. If you're going to do the forestry, you're going to do the forestry. If you're going to spend hours just removing trees really quickly, then you might as well play on a map that doesn't have trees on, in my opinion. But again, that's just me. But it's, you know, there's plenty of forestry. Now, what I did find when I did this before, as far as value of trees and stuff like that, was we had sections, or you had sections before, I'm just looking to see, where you had much taller trees in certain sections. So as you were cutting down trees, you would make more on some than others. I had wood chippers running all sorts. It looks like, I'm just trying to see, have we got any other different types of trees? Because I think the previous version we had different types and different sizes. Have we got any shorter ones? They all seem to be of a very similar size. Let's just go airborne a minute. Oh, there we go, look. So we can see here, we've got sections with taller trees here. And the same here, we've got some taller trees here. So obviously the value of which will be more because there's obviously more wood within them. Where's that field? There you go. There's the field there. Now, contracts aren't going to be available. If we go to here, I wouldn't have thought there is. Well, I'll be. There you go. Farmland 4, we have contracts. I would have thought with one field there wouldn't be. So if you wanted to walk out there and take on a couple of contracts, it doesn't pay a huge amount of money, but there will be contracts that will tick over there. I was not expecting that, I'm not going to lie. The other thing I like to check as well, it's come down to here, just in case, and again, I don't think there's going to be, under seeders, under planters, there are no custom crops, nothing added in over and above that. If we come back to here and come down to this menu, and go across to statistics, collectibles. Nothing showing for collectibles on the right hand column at the bottom. It's not showing there are any collectibles on here at all. So in essence, that's it. That's the map. That's Forest Challenge. Do you accept? Can you escape? Can you turn it into? I mean, this is truly, you know, we've had various different maps which are forest maps that have farming on, so you can do a bit of both. Like on Sunshine Forest that I'm playing at the moment, it's got the peat and it's got stuff like that. This is a true pioneering map. This is a map where you have to clear the land before you can do anything. You know, that genuinely is it. Or, if you wanted to, you could switch it around completely. You could sell those plots of land, put in a bit of money, buy the plot of land that's got the field on, and start with a field. You could do it the other way around and just say, okay, I'm going to start with a farming field, and I'm just going to do farming. I'm going to farm this field and see how long it takes me. Put in a silo, build yourself a little farm. How long will it take me just farming one field to then move on? Or you might decide when you're doing this one field, you're going to do something else. You might decide, I'm going to cut a few trees down because I want to make this field bigger, or make a second field, or, you know. So you could do it the other way around, although that's going to be a bit of a nuisance. And turning around, you might need to take a few trees and stuff out, but I think it's been done that way for a reason. So what we're going to do is just jump out to the main menu, and I'll just show you something. So we're back here out of the sort of main menu, the save game menu. We're on Forest Challenge map, and this is what I was talking about. And I'm only bringing this up because there was a comment left on my live stream the other day about the person found what I'm saying really annoying every time I do, or frustrating, maybe not annoying, whenever I do a map tour. Because I said when I started doing the map tours in FS25, because this menu is completely different to FS22. So you've got New Farmer, we've got Farm Manager, we've got Start from Scratch. So the way it's set standard by the map maker, if you do it on the standard settings, this is what you will get. So on New Farmer, this is what you start with, which is, you used to start with 100,000. Difficulty you can pick. I normally go normal, that's just me. You have a start farm and you can do the intro tour if you want. So I normally turn the intro tour off because I don't need to do an intro tour. If I go up and we go across to the Farm Manager, you start with 1 million, no loan, difficulty's normal. You don't have a start farm, no intro. And then Start from Scratch is 500,000 with a loan, difficulty's hard, no start farm, no intro. So whenever I do my map tours, I say, you don't have a start farm, you don't. And the person said, but you can. You keep saying you don't have a start farm, but you can. Yeah, you can. You can change all these settings. I can have the start farm. I can change my money. I can have no loan. I can have up to 1 million. I can, you know, I can on Start from Scratch have it on easy mode. This gives you much more scope for change. But what I'm doing when I do my map tours, I'm showing you the basic standard. This is what it gives you. So what I'm going to do is jump onto Farm Manager, because what I'm curious to see is, will you still start with, although you won't own the land, but we've already found it's 0, will you still have the equipment and machinery? Because I'm just curious. That's what I would normally say when I'm doing the map tour. So what I'm going to do is circle in there, turn all those off. Like I said, there's no required mods. This will just load up, and this will just give us an indication. Generally speaking, and again, it's a bit of a sweeping statement, but if on Farm Manager you don't start with the equipment and machinery, generally speaking, on Start from Scratch you don't either. So if we click on here, do that, turn ourselves around, you do. We have got the equipment and machinery here on Farm Manager. So my assumption would be on Start from Scratch you do as well. So I'm just going to jump across and double check that as well, because again, it could be that you do on New Farmer, Farm Manager, but you don't on Start from Scratch. I can't make assumptions, and we'll just go in and double check. The slot count same, 473. Yeah, and we've already seen what we can get it down to if we remove those bits of equipment and machinery. But like I say, in essence, I mean that really is it. And here we are. There we go. On Start from Scratch, on the standard settings, and you do start with the equipment machinery on there. If we come to our map, you'll see again, Farm Manager and Start from Scratch, you don't own the land, but this first plot is 0 anyway, so you can buy that plot. And off you go. And that's it. Forest Challenge by ABT-FRANKYY. I think it's ABT-FRANKYY. It could just be ABT-FRANKYY. I don't know. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then of course, please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.